Hello again, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a while since I've done a sales update video, and a few people have asked about it, so I decided to go ahead and get one up. So this is going to be items that sold in the last sort of month or two, and what I'm going to do is I'll have like eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark. I don't have any Etsy up right now, just because I didn't get to it in this video, but I will in the next video, I promise. And I'll just show you like an array, basically, of things that have sold. Some higher end items, some lower end, plenty of hard goods, some clothing. You know the drill by now. If you're new to the channel, by the way, this is a channel all about basically going to yard sales, garage sales, and thrift stores and finding stuff super cheap to flip for a profit online. And that is how I make my living. So let's go ahead and just crack on. So we're going to start with eBay. First item here is a vintage Fisher Price like little play set. It was a nursery set. I picked this up for $1 at a yard sale. Just found it kind of like stuffed in the back of some old toys in a Ziploc bag. And it sold in just a couple of weeks for $34.99. So not too bad for a buck. Next item I took an absolute chance on. So at this particular yard sale, I saw this and it definitely stood out, as you can tell. So it was a vintage Coleman kids sleeping bag with obviously dinosaurs and stuff all over it. It was in really nice condition. So I paid $3 for it and really didn't know if it was going to be worth anything. It did sit for about 6 months or so. But as you can see here, it sold for $59 as well. And by the way, I pretty much always have buyer paying shipping. But if for some reason I do free shipping, I will let you know. Next is a pair of Checo sandals. I put these up because I wanted to mention them. At one yard sale I went to, their prices were really quite high. I think I paid $15 for the Checo sandals, which is definitely more than I would usually pay, but they sold within a week, as did the other pair. This one for $45, and I think the other pair sold for $55. So I definitely made my money back and then quite a lot of profit with it as well. But I just kind of wanted to mention it that, you know, I don't always go out of my comfort zone to pick up those items that are priced a little bit higher, but oftentimes if I'm confident in them selling for a decent amount and quite quickly, I need to sort of retrain my brain a little bit, I think, to go ahead and pick those items up. So this is as much a reminder to myself as it is to anybody else to sometimes take a chance when you feel like you know what something is going to sell for. This is another one, really. These I paid $8 for. I would not usually pay $8 for Toms at all, but they had a very unique sort of print to them. It was this shimmer rainbow unicorn print, and they were in really nice shape as well. Looked like they had barely been worn. So I paid the $8 at the yard sale and they sold for $34.99 plus shipping in about a week and a half to 2 weeks. Next is Scrooge. I got him in a big buyout that I did. You're going to see a lot of items come from this. I'll link some videos down below in case you're interested. Basically, I went to a yard sale, best yard sale I've ever been to in my entire life, full of like rare collectibles and just really cool stuff. I then contacted the person and bought out what was left from their yard sale. And then since then, they've contacted me and sold me like other stuff that wasn't from a yard sale. It was just they were cleaning stuff out. Again, I'll link them down below in case you're curious about that. But it's a lot of fun. A lot of cool stuff in those videos, and this is just one of them. So when I mentioned the big yard sale buyout, that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. So we have Scrooge here. He sold for $45, and I probably paid about $2 for him at that particular yard sale. I did hand pick him. This is, like I said, we have some bread and butter floating around in here. So New with Tags Old Navy shorts. Again, Old Navy I wouldn't usually go near at a yard sale, no matter how cheap it was. But since they were both the same size and they were both new with tags, they were $1 a piece. I picked them up, and these sold again quickly, like a week or so, for $24.99 plus shipping. And I also had two other pairs that were, I think, a size 2, something like that, and they also sold for about $20. So again, if you can lot things up and they're good and cheap, and especially if they're brand new, sometimes it is worth picking them up. I just figured I would mention that one because pretty much everyone can find Old Navy, I think. So vintage First Peak Lamb singing toy. I've been dabbling more and more in vintage plush. Some is a win, some is not. This one was kind of so-so. I think I paid about 25 cents for him. So he really wasn't a lot of money, and he wasn't much cleanup or anything either. And he sold for $25.49. So a decent flip there for sure for a quarter. But I'm still trying to be a little bit picky when it comes to that vintage plush, because some of it is fantastic and some of it is just not so much. These came from a yard sale that I went to where they had these amazing shoes for $3 a piece, all just about brand new in their boxes. It about blew my mind. So these are Vince, great brand, and they were a suede chucker boot. Paid $3, like I said. They did come with the box, though they were not brand new, and they sold for $47.99 plus shipping. Next is a stack of, or a deck, I should say, of playing cards. This came from one of the buyouts that I did, like I just mentioned. And it was Ranma, I guess is what it says here in the title. I'm not familiar with anime, so forgive me. But they were very, very cool. And so as you can see, instead of just putting this as my thumbnail photo, even though that obviously shows what it is, I figured I wanted to show a bunch of the graphics and stuff. And they sold for $39.99. There was really no comps on these, and they sold within about 2 weeks of being listed. So I'm pretty happy with my price. But yeah, $39.99, not bad at all for a deck of playing cards. Definitely keep your eyes peeled for anime stuff. What can I say? It just really has a following. Okay, so a set of vintage Godzilla from 1998 bed sheets. It was pretty much the whole set there. I found this at a church rummage sale. There were some condition issues. There was some like fading and really quite severe pilling in the middle of one of the sheets. And they sold for... Let me look at my notes here. $65. They sold for $65, and I paid $5 for those. All right, Doc Martens. These were, I think, a bit of a win. They sold for $55 in the end, but I only paid $1 for these at a little yard sale that I kind of went out of my way on a Sunday to go visit because it said everything was going to be $1. I got a few pairs of Doc Martens, and these ones sold in about a month to a month and a half of being listed. Okay, I took a best offer of $60. Oh, no, it wasn't a best offer. It sold for, well, it says best offer accepted. Well, now I've done and confused myself. I'm going to go ahead and roll with 60. I may have taken a best offer of closer to 50. Bear with me, guys. But this is a Sideshow Collectibles figurine, basically figure. So this was a Renfield from Dracula. He was complete, but he had been out of the box. This is another thing that came from that huge buyout. And he sold really quickly within like a day or so of being listed. And I have a few other ones I sold too, like Nosferatu and stuff. I just haven't got them in this video. Rag and Bone, these came from that other yard sale as well, for $50 is what they sold for, and I paid $3 for these as well. I'm guessing Renfield was $60. I think I had him priced higher, and it's now reflecting my best offer accepted in the prices I'm showing you, which is a new thing for eBay, and I'm very grateful for it. So $50 for these Rag and Bone shoes. Really good brand to pick up, especially for $3. This came from the buyout as well, Harley Quinn. It was a backpack and wallet set, if you like. Took a best offer of $48.90. There wasn't a lot of comps going for this as well, but it was in really nice shape. I don't know anything about this guy either. Yum Pop? I don't know, but often this was something I picked from that yard sale. I did hand pick this, and I think I paid like 25 cents for it. And again, just having the tag with presumably like Japanese writing on it, and just knowing that he was kind of like that cute Japanese style and all that good stuff. You can see like some of the keywords and whatever that I used in here can be very popular. Was definitely worth taking a chance on. So for 25 cents, I grabbed him, and he sold for $49.99. And the last one I have to show you on eBay is this very bizarre set of VHS tapes from SeaWorld from the 90s, which were like Shamu and You. Go figure. I don't know. These were in a huge VHS buyout that I did. I sold a huge lot of like children's VHS and got like I think I paid $3 for the whole box of them, and I got about $25 for those, and then I've slowly like sold off little sets. So this one sold for $19.99 plus the shipping, and yeah, I would not have guessed it. Unfortunately, it wasn't complete. There was one missing. It was volume 1, 2, and 4. Who knows what the third one was, but definitely an interesting sale nonetheless. Okay, on to Mercari next. So this is one of the best sales I've had on Mercari. Actually, I picked this coat up at a rummage sale. I actually paid probably, when everything was parted out, close to 50 cents for this, which is unbelievable, really. You guys helped me sort of trying to determine the fur type and what kind of keywords I should use, so thank you very much for that. And as you can see, it sold on Mercari for $113 plus the shipping as well, so a really nice sale there for a 50-cent investment. Next one is some Birkenstocks. So I actually picked these up at, it was one yard sale with the prices were again just really, really high, but I did manage to find things that I could flip, and I'm really happy about that. I think I paid close to $20 for these Birkenstocks. However, I wanted to show them to you because they sold in under a day, which I suspected that they would. As you can see, they sold on Mercari. And even when you take into consideration like 15% fees and that initial investment of $20, I'm still looking at a good $24 profit from this item. And it was such a quick flip that I would definitely do it again. But sometimes it can be a little bit painful to pay up at yard sales. I guess I just want to mention to myself and anybody out there who's interested, it's sometimes if you're confident, it is worth paying up a little bit at those yard sales. Okay, so we have a vintage Garfield and Odie salt and pepper shaker set, sold for $26. I paid either $1 or $2 at a yard sale, and it was in its original box. Converse Batman Joker sneakers. So they were high tops. I love my high top Converse to resell, especially when they have cool graphics like this, or they're a collaboration like they were with DC Comics. This yard sale was kind of interesting because the lady kept changing her prices on me. She told me everything was $1, and then it wasn't, and it was a whole thing, but it was fine. She was lovely, and she let me have these for $2, which I was happy to pay because they sold for $38 plus shipping. All right, Nintendo Legend of Zelda flip backpack. Flip backpack meaning that it could be flipped inside out, and then it was an entirely different backpack. This was also from that buyout and sold for $44. A lot of these items, they just weren't comparables in terms of solds or even items listed, and so I would go a little bit high with them and just try and like feel out the market a little bit, and a lot of times that's gone in my favor in terms of some of these items that are just a little bit harder to find apparently. And another one I'll show you here in that same vein, I think I paid 25 cents for this. I grabbed it again because of the anime vibes. $19.99 little plush toy, and it sold for $50, which is really a fantastic sale, especially for 25 cents. Okay, so let's look at some Poshmark real quick. Not all clothes, some hard goods sort of floating in here as well. So this I actually picked up at the same yard sale. I picked up those Fisher Price, that little nursery set I showed you right at the beginning of the video. A little musical Peter Rabbit Beatrix Potter pillow, just quite small, but it was still brand new with its tags, so technically like dead stock or new old stock, and I thought it was really cute. And I paid $1 for it, and it sold for $35, so hopefully that is gracing someone's nursery. Next item is from that buyout again, Kiki's Delivery Service. They had loads of this stuff, so I've been sort of parting that out as I go from this particular buyout. This was the plush backpack, and it sold for $35. Unfortunately, the zipper pull was slightly broken, but that didn't stop it from selling. This was a new brand to me, and I was very happy to have found it. So Osprey, this really wasn't anything I'd heard of before, but it was $2 at a yard sale, and it looked to be really, really good quality. Sometimes the quality is a bit of a giveaway on these things. So I went ahead and took a chance and picked it up, and it sold within a week for $50. So definitely glad I kind of trusted my instincts there, and now I know a new brand to look out for. This was a purely like a style pickup. This was the only thing I picked up at this particular yard sale. $3 is what I paid, and obviously it is a bucket hat, very, very 90s. It was a vintage one with a paper tag inside, and it sold for $30 within a couple of weeks. This came from the same yard sale as those Chacos did, so I paid up for this a little bit as well. I paid $10 for this Levi's trucker bomber jacket with this like old Sherpa line, very classic. Wasn't vintage or anything, just a very classic style. So paid $10, and it sold within about 3 to 4 weeks for $45. So again, some nice profits still there. This was my first time ever finding this brand, Harvey's, the original seatbelt bag. Let me go ahead and show you that label just in case you are interested. This is what it looks like. And obviously they're very easy to sort of see like what they are when you spot them, because they look like seatbelts kind of woven in and out and whatnot. This sold within the week for $70. Like I said, I paid $5 for it. And unfortunately, it did have some marks to it that I just couldn't lift, but it still sold anyway. So very happy with that turnaround as well. Emily Strange, this is from, or Emily the Strange, whichever one. This is also from that buyout. I wanted to mention this because I considered this a bit of a bolo. When I grew up in England and had like my little punk rock phase or whatever, Emily Strange was a whole thing then. And I don't think it's made it over to the US as much. So when you do find those items, there's really not a lot of comparables for that over here. I've sold multiple pieces at this point, and they've done really well, and they've sold really, really quickly. So this wallet, unfortunately, did have a few marks and stuff, but it sold within a day of being listed for $23. All right, a mug. I sell mugs and things on Poshmark now, apparently. I don't know. They're not always super forgiving when it comes to breakables. Don't know if anyone else has had that experience. You get a big warning that like pops up and tells you, are you sure that you want to try and sell this here? Because we won't back you up if it breaks. And that's fine, whatever. But American Horror Story, Normal People Scare Me, just a big, like, oversized mug. Paid, it was either 50 cents or $1 at a yard sale, and it sold for 20. And I grabbed it because it was like the official merchandise. It wasn't just like a knockoff like you would get on sort of Etsy and things like that. So that's why I picked that particular one up. Okay, teaks. Everybody knows that teaks are good at this point. If you want to know how to spot them in the wild, just look for these soles, basically, and then the word teaks, obviously. They are foldable sort of little flats, basically, that you can put in your purse, and they're very, very expensive retail, and they have a big, big following. However, unfortunately, this is my first time and my only time ever finding them, and unfortunately, they did have some cosmetic wear, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. A bit more than cosmetic, really. Part of the toe was missing. You can see it's actually gone from here, unfortunately. So they weren't in the best of condition. However, I paid about $3 for them, and I thought I will pick these up so I can say that I found teaks in the wild, and they still sold for $50. So I was very pleasantly surprised by that, I have to say. This item I picked up purely based on the style. Turns out it's a vintage like tennis brand, this windbreaker jacket. It was called Prince, I think. But I just really liked the huge like color blocking and spell out and stuff. So I grabbed it for like $1 or $2, I think it was, and as you can see, it sold for 40. Again, plenty of vintage items selling over here on Poshmark for me. Next is this. I'm not even going to try and say this brand name, but I am going to highlight it on the screen in case you're interested. Definitely sort of like an evening wear piece, higher end. And as you can see, the original price, I actually managed to track this down on their website, was just short of $400 or so. I think I paid about $5 at a thrift store. I found a thrift store when we went to the beach and just happened to go thrifting. Barely made it home with everything that was in the car, never mind, but I did, and things have been selling. So $90 is what I finally got for this dress, which is not too bad at all. And the final item I'm going to show you on Poshmark is this Build-A-Bear Ghostbusters. I'm talking about Build-A-Bear more and more recently because I've been selling a lot of them for really good money. I actually just sold one that was like a zombie bear for like $120, which kind of blew my mind, truth be told. Not all of them are worth much. Actually, most of them probably aren't worth anything, but if you can get the ones that are IP, like intellectual property, like Ghostbusters, or the ones that are incredibly limited edition, and I have a feeling like with most things that Halloween and stuff, it just has more of a following and just more of a desirability to it, then a lot of times you're laughing. So I wanted to show you this guy. I paid $2 for him. He was a singing bear. He did sing the Ghostbusters theme tune naturally, and he sold in about a week for $35 here on Poshmark. All right, you guys, that is everything I have to show you in today's sales video. Let me know down below, though, in the comments, and of course by hitting the thumbs up button as well, if you like this kind of video, because I know I do a lot of my yard sales and garage sales point of view with the hauls in, but if you are interested in seeing like a bunch of the items periodically that have sold from those hauls and what I made on them exactly, then let me know, because I'm more than happy to put these videos out a little more frequently if you guys are finding it helpful. As usual, if you are new here and you enjoy this kind of thrifty content, flipping stuff online for a profit, yard sailing, all that good stuff, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you can come back and hang out some more. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!